can be done about shame, a person dealing with deep shame in their life? How can we be free of shame or make it so it's not so harmful?
When you commit crimes, unless you're a psychopath and have no conscience at all, assuming you have that peace, you are going to probably commit the crimes, but you're going to have a level of embarrassment, guilt, and shame about it. Now, guilt is very simple. It means I made a mistake. Shame is very deep, to the bone, I am the mistake. And what happens when someone is either physically abused as a child repeatedly or sexually abused, because children think very black and white and very concretely, they tend to believe that they were the problem. If they had been better, kinder, cuter, nicer, whatever, then Dad would not have hit me so much. Dad would not have sexually abused me. Mom would not have emotionally abused me. They tend to take on this shameful behavior as being their fault. So therefore, they wear the shame for what someone else did to them. So the first thing in shame debriefing, because that's exactly what has to happen, you have to debrief it, is you have to realize that you may be wearing somebody else's shame. And when that begins to click and make sense for you, then you have to give it back to them. And I, of course, don't mean literally, but sometimes there's a writing exercise that goes, I've been wearing the shame for you're offending me, all these years, and I've been in treatment now, and I realize it's not mine. It's yours. You should be the one walking around with all this shame because you did the behavior. So writing exercises, talking into a tape recorder, any of those things are very helpful for, so to speak, giving it back. So you begin to move it away from you and to a source where it really belongs. And of course you can't do that literally. It's all done metaphorically, but the result is the shame. Another form of debriefing, and I have the guys do this sometimes in group, is just to stand up and say, I'm a sex offender. This is what I did. And in being able to own that, you are able to acknowledge who you are and where you come, but also where you're going. And as a result, the shame begins to lessen. I think the more we can own our behaviors, then we have the power to do something about them. If you can't say, this is what I did and this is what I do, when I get really stressful and stressed out, I overeat or I yell or I hit people or whatever it is, until you get to that point, you can't change the behavior. So the first step is owning it and acknowledging it. Oh my God, every time I get stressed out, I yell like a banshee and say things that aren't appropriate. Now, I have power over that behavior. The more power you have over the behavior, the less shame. Because something very wonderful happens. You begin to understand if you created that mess, you can create something better. And that's the whole point of dealing with shame. It's moving it out, looking at it, owning what is yours, giving back what isn't yours, and recognizing that you now have internalized the power to decide what you're going to do with it in the future. I'm amazed at the number of people who walk around with tremendous shame, and they just sort of like circulate it over and over in their life. And that's because they didn't empower themselves to say, oh, this isn't any fun. It's not helping me. It's not helping another soul on the planet. So I need to look at what I can do with this shame and how I can free myself from it. And how do you free yourself from it? Very simple, by saying then and now. And it is only in that division that you can begin to clearly acknowledge where you were, who you are, and where you're going.